So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? So we are back from our trip. We had a great time, and we were in the Loire Valley. So I hope you were following us because we did quite a journey, and we're back to our normal feature of what we try to do is explain different wine regions. So if you want to, you start following us also on our podcast because we're going to be doing a lot of interviews. But today we got a very special video because we're showing some wine, and I want to explain a little bit about here. We had a chance to visit Sancerre, which is, as we all know, is or if you don't know and you haven't caught up to the train yet, I mean, this is the most famous wine right now in America, sales-wise. Everybody in France is, especially in Sancerre, saying we can't sell it. We sell too much. We can't produce enough. So I decided to do something a little different today on this Sancerre. So this is from a property, not a property, I shouldn't say. This is from, it's called the Cave de Sancerre, and it's actually a co-op. So I'm here to explain because most Americans or even people in the world might not know exactly what a co-op is. So we got a big map here in France. We're going to show you right here where Sancerre is right here. And of course, one of my producers said that they really cannot expand Sancerre. The only thing that you can do is you can buy your next door neighbor, and maybe that'll advance you a little more in bottles. But this is a different company because the Cave is a co-op. And I'll explain exactly what co-op means. And there are 400 cooperatives in France. And so this particular co-op, which is called the Cave de Sancerre, produces 1.8 million bottles. That's quite a lot of Sancerre. So, but what I wanted to do today was tell you the differences between a co-op wine. So this is a wine that normally would sell in a grocery store or a big chain. And in France, they have a lot of huge chains. I mean, Carrefour, Leclerc, these are like the Costco's of the world. So if you go in there, you're just seeing just tons and tons of wines. And most of the wines that exist in this grocery store kind of level in France are the co-ops. This particular wine right here is a co-op. What does that mean? Well, there are close to 400 different independent growers that actually bring their grapes. They don't want to vinify the wine. They don't want to have a winery. So basically what they do is they bring their grapes to a big company. These are very, very important. So if you look all over France here, there are co-ops in all parts of France. You have co-ops down here in Bordeaux. You have cooperatives down here in the Rhone Valley. You have co-ops over here in the Languedoc region. These are very large companies. They're very important to the economic position of France because it's 35 to 40% of the wines that are produced in France are produced through co-ops. That's quite a number if you think about it, because most of the producers that I know, they're all small guys, and they try to brand themselves. Co-ops are not really good at marketing because it is the co-op. But this is a particular producer here. How can you tell that it's a co-op? You look on the bottle here and it says Cave de Sancerre. Cave meaning cooperative. So, and you can see right here, but it is Sancerre. And we're going to do the Pepsi challenge today. We're going to taste this Sancerre. Now, Sancerre is my favorite wine. I'm here to tell you, I've been buying and selling and enjoying Sancerre for over 30 years. So it's always been one of my favorite wines. It's 100% Sauvignon Blanc. And you get those really very interesting soils we talked about. Follow us now because we talked about Silex and some of those other wines. But this is a combination of all different soil types, all different grapes. There's not a one single parcel here. This is just parceled out through all different vineyards. So what does that mean? Well, that means that it is what is called correct Sancerre. Now, I'm not here to diss the Cave de Cooperative. I know the export manager here. They sell a ton of wines. Actually bought this as a Total Wine. So Total Wine is probably the exclusive agent for this brand because they do their own label. And it works for them because they're the largest retailer in the country. So if anybody's ever heard of Total Wine, yeah, they are now number one. But, can they actually buy Sancerre from some of my growers? Probably not, because they don't make enough. And they need trailers of Sancerre. So that's exactly what this is. And, but, when you smell it, it's got a nice fruity smell, Very easy to drink. Very what I call this is correct Sancerre. When you taste and you say, oh, that's definitely Sancerre. So, but at the same time, let's taste the wine. Oh, this is delicious. It's easy to drink. It's not the most complex Sancerre I've ever had, but it for the money that you spend, and I think they have this for a little over $20. Most Sancerre today is 35 and 30. Ouch, I know. But when you taste really sublime Sancerre, especially if you followed us, and you're tasting from the Reverdies and you're tasting from Henri Bourgeois and some of these really power hitter Sancerre producers, you can tell the difference because they're making Sancerre for centuries. This co-op though works because if you think about it, 35 to 40% of the production of wines in France is sold through the co-ops. You don't see it too much in America. Wine lovers always tend to simply ignore wine co-ops or even look down at them because they don't feel that these wines are good wines. That's a mistake. The co-ops really do make good wines. They work hard at it. They have a team, and it's a big company, so it's large volumes. But it works because they can make wine at a lot more affordable prices than the smaller guys who have the cost of the bottles and the vineyard management. And today it's tough. It's a tough market. So these people, these co-ops are really a workable force in all of France. And I've had the pleasure to taste Cellar de Prince down here in the Rhone, and they've got big co-ops down in Languedoc, and they even have co-ops in Bordeaux. Believe it or not, there's very large co-ops in Bordeaux. The same purposes, but it gives a lot of jobs to the industry. And we're here to tell you that we believe in the co-ops. So if you do find a wine and it does have a name Cooperative, don't be afraid to buy the wine. You're probably getting a hell of a value. Again, this is a Grape Explorer, always talking about great wines, and we thought we brought one here today for you. Cheers.